Welcome to Shots Fired. I'm Brad Freakin Nolen, and tonight with me, I have the one and only
Nick Bell. And Travis King sadly couldn't be with us because he's out balling on the court. I mean, I guess he was too good for us tonight. I don't know. But,
what a shame.
and it's sad. We just made this particular day just for him, and he still ditched us.
We had to miss last night in honor of Halloween, so we're coming to you live on a Thursday night. We're in Cana, Virginia, to bring you our Week 9 picks. But first, you know what to do, Nick. Update us on the standings.
Well, it's the midway point in the season, and guess what? We got a three-way tie, a triple threat. Everybody with the same record. It's amazing. I don't know how that happens, just especially halfway through the season. I don't know what the chances of that being is, but things are going to be very interesting, and things will be heating up here. And I think Travis is falling. He's losing a little momentum these last couple of weeks. He did have a 4 or 5 game lead at one point, and now everybody's tied.
It's crazy. We got through 8 weeks, and it's basically like we're starting over.
I know.
We're all even.
Getting ready to go to the back nine, baby. Just like I say, I like to compare it to golf. But as of right now, I think Travis is falling. And I think Travis is going to keep on falling after this week. But as well, he ain't here with us today. God bless him. But we're going to present his picks as well. And we'll tell y'all after we make our picks on every game. But there is some interesting matchups this week. We'll start with the Thursday night football game. The Oakland Raiders versus the San Francisco 49ers.
That game is currently being played right now, but we made our picks beforehand. I picked Oakland, and Travis picked San Francisco, and Nick picked Oakland as well. So I think the score of that game right now is 7-3 San Francisco, but there's a long way to go.
Yeah, I mean, one big reason I picked the Raiders is because the Niners was on their second-string quarterback, and he got hurt. So now they're to their third-string quarterback, some guy named Nick Mullins or something. I mean, who's going to pick him? But if they win, I don't know. That'd shock the world right there.
Yeah, somehow they were favored to win, but who knows? I don't understand that logic, but
And the only way they're going to win is if Breida has a good night, and he's been banged up lately. So I don't know how they're going to win, man. I really don't. Their defense is going to have to get some pick sixes or something. But the Oakland Raiders' offense is, I think, still pretty decent. But to be without Cooper and Lynch, I mean, it's a better offense than the Niners. But their defense is terrible.
yeah, both defenses are horrible in this game.
Yep.
But I think home field might help San Francisco, but I doubt it. I think Oakland is a better team.
Yeah. Now moving on, Brad. I think this is the biggest matchup of the week, especially if you can consider the quarterback versus quarterback matchup right here. Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers in Gillette Stadium, Sunday Night Football. Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth. Oh, under the lights, man. This is a juicy, juicy matchup. This might be better than the Chiefs and Patriots.
Yes, I have never been more excited for a regular season game than I am this game. I mean, you got the two greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game in one setting. It's only the second time they've ever played each other. Excuse me. And the first matchup was in 2014. Packers won 26-21. Rodgers outplayed Brady, had 368 yards, 2 touchdowns. Brady had 245 and 2 touchdowns. But I really want to pick the Packers in this game. I'd love to see Rodgers go into Gillette and get this win against Brady, show everyone how good he is. But I think the home field advantage and the fact that the Patriots have a better head coach and Bill Belichick is going to be the advantage. And I think the Patriots win a close one, 34-31.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. It's going to be high scoring as well. I remember the last time they played each other. That was a cold game. I believe it was in December. It was like week 14, 15, 4 years ago. And it was a top battle. I do remember watching that. Mike McCarthy he don't have what it takes to me to beat Bill Belichick. I mean, I always thought McCarthy should have been fired a while back. I think he holds Aaron Rodgers back. The defense for the Packers this year stepped it up a little bit. And the Patriots defense has just been banged up. I don't know. It's just suspect. But Julian Edelman back with Tom Brady. That looks like that's going to be big. Gronkowski's been banged up. But I tell you what, old James White, that running back right there, man, he good receiving back. But is Sonny Michael going to be back this week? Or Michelle or whatever?
I think he's still questionable. I doubt he plays, though. I think they'll hold him out till after their bye, which is in 2 weeks. So he'll be back in 3 weeks, is my prediction.
Well, see, Burkhead was on the IR too, so who else have they got? I saw the other night their leading rusher was Cordero Patterson, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they can use him as a weapon in different sets, but they had Kenyon Barner. He didn't do much. So I guess they're just going to roll with James White until Michelle gets healthy.
Well, White didn't. He hardly put up any. Patterson led the team in rushing yards.
Yeah. White was more of what he usually is, a pass catcher, yeah.
Catch off a screen, catch off a slant. Yep, so me and Brad's going with the Patriots and Travis as well. So take out the brooms on that one, Aaron Rodgers.
And here's an interesting stat. Travis King likes to throw out bad stats against Aaron Rodgers and his records and this and that. Aaron Rodgers is 16-9 against all Super Bowl winning quarterbacks he's ever faced. Something to keep in mind.
Aaron Rodgers 16-9. Wow. That's big. Okay, moving on to the Bears versus the Bills.
I'm taking the Bears in this one, but it has a potential of an upset, being it's in Buffalo. And Buffalo didn't look all that bad against New England last week. I mean, it was a low-scoring defensive game for the most part till the fourth quarter. Field goals all over the place. But I could see Buffalo winning it. Wouldn't be surprised if they do, but I think Chicago will squeak it out. They're just overall better team on both sides of the ball. So I'm going with the Bears.
Yeah, I'm going with the Chicago Bears too. Bills, they play with a chip on their shoulder. They try to keep everything close. That defense is very good. It always has been up there. I mean, they just never had much offensively, like no superstars or anything. I mean, they got LaShawn McCoy, but when you fall behind, you can't rely on a running back. You got to have a receiver or a quarterback that just is a gunslinger like Philip Rivers or something. But that shows you how much Tyrod Taylor meant to that team last year.
Another thing, too, that a lot of people don't take into account about the Bills, going into this year, I knew they weren't going to be as good because they lost 3 of their 5 starting offensive linemen. And the last 3 years or so, they've had one of the best lines in football. I know losing those offensive linemen was really going to hurt them, and I knew Shady wasn't going to have a good year. That's why I avoided him in all my fantasy leagues. I was thinking he's going to be trapped. He ain't going to have nowhere to go. So that's one thing to look at about this Bills team. They have no line.
I'll tell you what they do got. A good kicker.
Yeah.
Stephen Hauschka. That's about it. Nathan Peterman. I saw something about the Nathan Peterman challenge on fantasy football.
Yeah, I called out Travis King for that. I'm playing him in 2 leagues. So we'll see if he accepts the challenge. Shots fired.
Uh-oh. Yeah, Travis King is rolling with the Bears too. So that's another clean sweep. Moving on to the next 1 o'clock game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers travel up to Carolina to play the Panthers.
I'm going to go with Carolina. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game now that Fitzpatrick's back. Old Fitzmagic got out his wand again last week. Almost performed a miracle comeback, but I think Carolina's a really solid team. And then being at home, I like the Panthers in this one, but I think there's going to be a lot of offense, a lot of scoring.
Yeah, did you see what the Panthers did to that Ravens defense last week?
It's unreal.
I tell you, Cam Newton might be this might be his best. I wouldn't compare him to the year they went to the Super Bowls, like stats-wise, but this might be his second best year
Mm-hmm.
I mean, overall, as a QBR and all that, I think is him being a quarterback. I mean, they're getting it off the McCaffrey. He's throwing. Newton's throwing. He's rushing. So they're splitting and they're keeping it very diverse, like a 60 to 40% ratio pass to run. So that's really good. You want to keep things mixed up. They finally got Greg Olsen back, and that defense they're always decent. They play. I mean, they always play close, and they always play good.
Yeah, I think North Turner's helped out Cam Newton a lot. He's got a good offensive coordinator behind him now, and I think that's really helped him. I don't have anything negative to say about Cam for the first time in his career.
North Turner, he came from Minnesota, so he was used to he had coach a mobile quarterback up there in Teddy Bridgewater.
Mm-hmm.
So he's already ran a system like this. Mm-hmm. And having McCaffrey down there, I mean, I tell you.
Mm-hmm.
That white boy right there, just got to pull from my white boys.
He's a Swiss Army knife.
Yes.
He can do it all.
Uh-huh. I'm rolling with the Panthers, too. And so is Travis King. Travis King is a fan of the Panthers and a fan of the Falcons, which makes no sense to me. But he said he's taking one of his teams, which is the Panthers in this case. And moving on to the Kansas City Chiefs playing the Hugh Jackson-less Browns.
Poor Browns. So much dysfunction in that organization. It just continues year to year.
Why would you fire Hugh Jackson?
I don't know. I mean, you can't argue with his record. It's 35-1, something like that. I mean, I could see where they're coming from, but I mean, give the man a chance. He's finally got a squad with him. Just give him a chance. But oh well, they thought there was a better option. I also heard Sean McVay's the favorite to coach them next year in Vegas. So something else to look out for.
Coach, huh?
Sean McVay for the Rams, yeah.
The coach who?
Cleveland.
Why?
Next year. I guess his contract's up. Cleveland will pay him big money. Can you imagine him coaching that offense?
I just don't see him leaving the Rams. Something he started. He wants to get a Super Bowl with the Rams.
Money talks, so if he gets paid, he'll be out of there. But yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs in this game. Too much offense. They're not going to be stopped by Cleveland. I don't care where they're playing at. Give me the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, he's going to have a big day. Not much else to say.
Well, I think they're going to get out to a big lead and they're going to pound the ball with Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
So, you might be right with Mahomes having a big day, but I think Kareem Hunt could possibly have a big day as well.
Mm-hmm.
The defensive coordinator for the Browns took over. Greg Williams, is that correct?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, he took over as head coach. They also fired Todd Haley, the offensive coordinator, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So
that was dumb.
Yeah, I don't know why he'd fire him because Pittsburgh's in that division. So I'd at least keep him just for that because he knows he played in that division. And he knows all these teams.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know where to go from that. I mean, it's just sad. I feel bad for Hugh Jackson. He should have stayed with the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm going to go with the Chiefs in the blowout. Moving on to the Jets versus the Dolphins.
I'm taking Miami at home. They beat New York in New York in week 2. I believe it was week 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take them at home. And also Miami looked really good against Houston. Put up a lot more points than I was expecting on the road. So, I mean, the Jets don't have the defense near as good as Houston's is. So I see Miami winning pretty easily.
Is Tannehill back this week?
I think he might be, yeah.
Regardless, not picking Miami. I don't trust them. I'm scared to pick them. It's like, I don't know. It's like me picking the Seahawks. When I pick them, I'm afraid they're going to lose. Like, that's usually what happens. So I try to stay away and only pick the games that are locks. But this ain't a lock for Miami. This ain't a lock for the Jets. It's a 50-50, so I'm going with the Jets because the Dolphins let me down if I pick them. So that's how I decided this game. Even though Miami beat the Jets week 2, I just think Darnold's a lot better of a player now than he was then. Crowell's tearing it up at running back. They got Robbie Anderson and Jermaine Kearse at wide receiver. The defense, Jamal Adams leading that defense. They're decent. Albert Wilson for the Dolphins, wide receiver. He's been banged up. I think he's out a couple more weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Stills is banged up. I don't know if he'll be back this week.
Parker stepped up last week, though.
Yeah, but he's on the. They put him on the hot seat for trade deadline, so now they ain't gonna trade him with all the injuries at receiver, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get on to it later on. But there's some crazy trades this week.
Yes, there was. We forgot to mention it at the beginning.
Yeah, we'll
talk about it at the end. How about that?
I got you. Okay, moving on. I cannot believe. Oh, excuse me. Travis King picked the New York Jets. So, moving on. I don't understand why this game is a 1 o'clock game. I don't know if you think the same, but the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Baltimore Ravens. I think it at least should have been a 4 o'clock game. If not a prime time, but I'm going to roll with Pittsburgh in this one.
That one's interesting. Considering Baltimore went to Pittsburgh earlier in the year and won and beat them easily, and now they're at home against them. I want to pick the Ravens in this one, but it makes me a little nervous. They haven't looked too good. Last week they didn't look good at all against Carolina, and then at home against the Saints lost a game they probably should have won, but Justin Tucker missed the extra point.
It's the first one in his life.
I don't see the Ravens losing 3 in a row, though. I think they're going to get the win. Being at home, I think they're going to be pissed, and they're going to get it.
Yeah, I'll roll with Pittsburgh because I just don't see when these two teams play each other. I just don't see one sweeping another one. I see them splitting. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. I think they're going to correct what they did wrong. They're kind of rolling a little bit now. Baltimore's stringy and stretchy. Don't know what you're going to get. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. And Travis King picked the Baltimore Ravens. So we've disagreed on. There's 3 games right now that we've disagreed on. So standings could be mixing up a little bit at this point.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just have to wait and see. Moving on to another big division matchup: the Detroit Lions versus the Minnesota Vikings.
I'm rolling with the Vikings at home. Surprised me last week the way that New Orleans just come in there and dominated them. I actually told Travis before that game started if I wish we could change our picks because I wanted to pick the Saints because I didn't realize Xavier Rhodes was out for the game, so I was like, dang, that's going to hurt them. But still, the Vikings didn't put up much of a fight. But I think they'll win against Detroit at home. Detroit got beat by Seattle at home, and I wasn't expecting that either, so...
Nick Bell had a good week last week.
Nick Bell did have a good week.
One loss. The freaking 49ers blew a 13-point lead in the fourth to the Arizona Cardinals. But anyway, the Saints last week when they played the Vikings, I had the Saints all the way. Just something had a feeling. I don't know what it was. It's like God laid it on my heart, but I don't know. Just something about when I thought about it. I had the Saints winning. I'd bet money on that game too, but
yeah, I'm gonna pick the Vikings. Pretty close game, I'd say. Divisional game, be close. Might come down to the wire.
Overtime.
Yeah.
I'm going with Minnesota too, and so is Travis. Pulling out the brooms. Matthew Stafford struggled last week.
Be interesting to see what the Lions look like without Golden Tate now too.
Yeah, I think they're kind of after that game last week. Moving on to Marvin Jones at the number 1 because he put up like 120 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns.
Kenny Galladay, he's going to be getting an even bigger role.
Who's going to step up at the number 3?
I don't know. The way they're running the ball now, they might not need a reliable number 3. They can lean on Johnson.
Okay. So all 3 rolling with the Vikings. Moving on, the Atlanta Falcons versus the Washington Redskins.
I'm going with the upset on the road. I'm taking Atlanta going into Washington. When I first seen the game on paper, I thought Washington. But then I got to thinking, looked at the Redskins' schedule. They haven't played all that great of teams here lately. They barely squeaked by Dallas, and they barely squeaked by the Giants. So I'm thinking, in Atlanta, if you look at their schedule, God, they played great teams every game almost, besides the Giants on Monday night. Played Philadelphia, Carolina, New Orleans, Cincinnati, all these great teams. So I see Atlanta going into Washington and getting a big win. I feel confident in them. That offense is going to be too much for the Redskins secondary. Now the run defense, I see them stopping Tevin Coleman, but I don't see him slowing down Matt Ryan. I think he's going to have a good day.
I think when I looked at it on paper, I was like Redskins defense versus Falcons offense. I was like, all right, I'll give a slight edge to the Falcons offense. But then I looked at Redskins offense and the Falcons defense. I was like, that Falcons defense has allowed, on average, to every team like 27 points a game this year. So therefore, I'm going with the Washington Redskins. I mean,
ooh.
And the Redskins are at home as well. I looked at this game as if the Falcons were playing at home, I would have took the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
But then since that's what made me choose the Redskins was the home field advantage.
Mm-hmm.
But just when your defense allows 27 points a game, I ain't gonna pick you.
But you got to think too, the offenses that Atlanta's had to face too. You have to take into account. And Alex Smith's not the type of quarterback just lights you up through the air. He's going to manage the game, run the ball. So
what about Adrian Peterson, man?
That's what I'm saying. I think Atlanta can hold him in check. I'm not worried about him in this game. He might have a decent day, but he's not going to go ham on him like he did the Giants.
Okay, interesting. Moving on to the Houston Texans versus the Denver Broncos. How interesting. The Denver Broncos traded Demaryius Thomas to the Houston Texans.
Awkward.
What's going to happen with Will Fuller, where he tore his ACL? Is Demaryius Thomas just going to finish out the season here and get traded? I mean, be a free agent after this year? Or do they keep Thomas, Fuller, and Hopkins?
Imagine if they did.
That's
Jeez.
amazing.
Well, Thomas is getting up there in age, too. He's not the guy he was 3-4 years ago. He would be, yeah. That is crazy. He gets traded to the team that they're playing the following week. Unreal. But even in spite of him getting traded, I'm still picking Denver at home to win this game. It's going to be a close game, really close game, 3-point game. But I like Denver. If you look at who Houston's beat in their 5-game win streak, it's not that impressive, the teams they beat. Teams like Dallas, Miami. And then you look at who Denver's played this year. They've had a rough schedule. They've been in every game. Last week they was in it with the Chiefs. A few weeks ago was in it with the Rams. And then they blew out the Cardinals. I mean, Denver looks pretty solid. So I like them at home in a close game.
I'm going to go with the Houston Texans. I just think that offense is going to be too much. I think Miller will have a big game. Denver's had trouble stopping the run. I just think it's crazy that Demaryius Thomas is going to be playing against a team he's playing for less than a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be crazy. I don't know if there'll be any drama between him and his teammates or old teammates.
It's gonna take a while for him to get in rhythm too, if you think about it with that offense. So
have a low snap count.
Yeah, I don't think he'll get very involved in this game. He's gonna have to learn the offense. I think Hopkins could have a big day, but Denver's secondary, it's no slouch. So
it really sucks for Will Fuller.
Yeah, I know. He's a really good player, but injury problems.
That Texans offense is all injuries.
Yeah.
Watson, Miller, they all stay banged up. But Travis King took the Texans.
So I'm the odd man out, huh?
Yeah, the odd man out in this one. Okay, moving on to the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Seattle Seahawks.
I'm going with your boy, Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
At home. I like the Seahawks. The home field advantage is going to play big. against the Chargers. Two evenly matched teams in this one, but I think the home field advantage, it favors Seattle. So give me the Seahawks. They looked really good against Detroit last week. I think they're getting ready to go on a roll.
Oh, I do too. I think they're going to win this week. And I don't know about next week. They got the Rams. But I tell you, man, the last 5 games they've played, they've had a 100-yard rusher every time. And they're 4-1 with a 100-yard rusher. When Chris Carson runs for 100 yards in a game, we're 4-0. So I think that's a crazy stat right there. We're 4-3. The 3 games we lost was all by 1 possession. Play everybody close. Pete Carroll's finally got an offensive coordinator that knows what he's doing. He's back to the run. How we got to the Super Bowl. So.
And Seattle's only had 2 home games this year, correct?
Yep, they're getting ready to have 6 more out of the last 9.
That's dangerous.
And 4 of them are home primetime games.
Nick Bell, I'm making a bold prediction here tonight. The Seattle Seahawks will make the playoffs.
I'm glad people are starting to
They will.
feel that way.
I don't... With that many home games and that home field advantage...
4 primetime home games.
And Russell Wilson in prime time. He's a monster.
We got 2 Sunday nights, a Thursday night, and a Monday night.
Yep.
All big games. We got the Chiefs on Sunday night, the Vikings on Monday night, the Packers on Thursday night. Some interesting games.
I guess they're getting in. They'll get in the playoffs.
Still got to play the Niners 2 times.
God, that's 2 wins.
Arizona once.
That's a win.
So we'll wait and see what's going to happen, but I'm feeling very confident. I mean, USA Today predicted them to go 4-12. I told everybody before the season started. I said there ain't no way. I said they'll at least go 8-8, and look at them now. They're 4-3.
Mm-hmm.
So you really think they're gonna lose out? USA Today?
Shots fired.
Yeah, just a bunch of y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all predicted the Falcons and the Chargers in the Super Bowl. I mean, come on now.
Come on, USA Today. Step your game up.
Anyway, I'm rolling with the Seahawks. I told my dad after I watched them beat the Lions, beat the brakes off of them, they could easily put up 40 points on them. We had some bad breaks towards the end. The score was 28-14. It was closer than what it looked. It was a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know, man. That's the most pleased I've been watching a Seattle Seahawks game in the last 2 years. Just to see that made me so happy. And I told my dad as soon as that was over, I said, the Seattle Seahawks are going to win next week. No doubt in my mind. 100% lock.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle will beat Los Angeles.
I agree.
Melvin Gordon banged up.
Mm-hmm.
The Seahawks defense, did you know they're actually ranked better stats-wise than last year's defense?
Really?
9 out of the 11 starters from last year are gone. The only ones returning, Bobby Wagner, K.J. Wright.
Dang.
And K.J. Wright was hurt, so basically we've had 1 starter return. K.J. Wright finally made his debut of the season last week.
That's unreal. And they really, honestly, don't have any passing game. It's just Russell Wilson, a run game, and their defense.
He threw the ball 17 times last week for 270 yards and 3 touchdowns. And we ran the ball 40 times.
Jeez.
Chris Carson had 105 yards rushing, and then Mike Davis, our backup running back, he had about 40. So, I don't know, just getting back to that Marshawn Lynch offense right there. Bright things ahead. Tyler Lockett looking to become the number 1. Baldwin's fell off a little bit. He's back to the number 2, I'd say. And we released Brandon Marshall today, so I think our number 3 now is John Brown. But no, actually, it's DJ. Crap, what's his name?
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, he's a rookie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Undrafted.
Mm-hmm.
He's a stud. He's caught 4 touchdowns. I don't know. Just interesting things. I think we're going to after this year's draft, I think we could be back in the Super Bowl conversation next year.
Could be.
I don't think we're in the Super Bowl conversation this year.
Not quite. I do think they're going to make the playoffs. I do think so.
Yeah. I think it makes it interesting anytime Seattle gets in.
Mm-hmm.
That just the fan base and stuff, like baseball too.
Mm-hmm.
Or they need basketball up there. I don't know why I'm getting off subject, but I don't know. I was really pleased watching them last week, and I really do think they're going to beat Los Angeles. And
who did Mr. King pick in this game?
Mr. King picked the Los Angeles Chargers.
What?
He's a Seattle doubter.
Wow.
That's what he is. I'm disappointed in you, Travis.
Mr. King, Mr. Home Field Advantage, has went with the road teams this week, it appears. Did he pick? Who did he pick in that Atlanta-Washington game?
He picked Atlanta.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Okay, moving on to the Rams and the Saints.
Oh, baby. What a game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, go ahead.
This was the toughest game for me to pick this week.
Really?
Yeah.
This is a no-brainer for me. It's a lock, honestly.
Well,
I'm going with the Saints.
Really?
Yes,
at
home.
I decided to go with the Rams.
Wow. The Saints at home, I honestly, if it was in L.A., I would still pick the Saints. I think the Saints have played a much tougher schedule, and they've only lost, one game. And the Rams haven't really played many good teams. And, two people I want to shout out to, Luke Holyfield and Clay Shelton, both have said the Rams are overrated. And they both said with me the Saints are going to win this week. We all three agree. I don't think the Rams are overrated like they do, but I do think the Saints win this week. And I think they win pretty significantly. Not a blowout, but pretty sure thing that they're the better team. And they're going to show it.
I would have picked the Saints if they would have lost to Minnesota. I would have picked the Saints if they would have lost to Minnesota last week.
Why?
Because they would have came out with some fire in them and be ticked off. I just think the Saints is a team you don't want to play coming off a loss.
But they have the motivation knowing they can beat the last undefeated team.
But they're not.
And home field advantage. They'll have home field in the NFC then with that win.
We'll see. My logic of thinking is different than yours. I don't know, but there's a bunch of disagreed games this week, and
that's going to be an amazing game. Like that game, you get to watch it, and then wait for the Sunday night game, and the 1:00 game, you got Steelers Ravens.
Yeah.
Like what a day of football! Can't get any better.
What a day! Y'all be watching that Rams Saints. I'll be watching my Seahawks play the Chargers. Moving on. Well, actually, no. Excuse me. Travis King picked the New Orleans Saints, and moving on to the Monday night game, the Tennessee Titans versus the Dallas Cowboys.
How about them Cowgirls? I'm rolling with the Cowboys in this one. At home, they're undefeated this year. On the road, they are defeated. So, they're at home. I think they're better than Tennessee. I think getting Amari Cooper is going to help them a lot. Don't know if he'll make an impact this week, but in the future, I do think he will. He'll spread the field out for Elliott, so they can't stack the box against them. And Cowboys might be a team to watch out for going down the stretch. Their defense is no joke. Surprisingly, it's one of the best in football. So, got a good run game, got a good line. Now they got a weapon on the outside. Watch out for Dallas. I don't think they'll win the East. I still think the Eagles are winning the East, but I'm rolling with the Cowboys.
Wow. Me too. I'm going with Dallas. Marcus Mariota hasn't proven much to me this year. I don't think Dallas is a playoff contender. I don't think Tennessee. I think Tennessee is because of the division they play in.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think that division is now between Houston and, this may surprise you, the Colts. I think Tennessee and Jacksonville, they're done.
So, the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be something? That'd be a story right there. Start the season 1-5.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I could see it.
We'll wait and see. I like old Andrew Luck.
I knew going into the year, I know this is off topic, talking about a team on a bye, but going into the year, the Colts drafted 2 offensive linemen, I believe, in the first and second round. And I thought, if they can get a running back that they can trust behind that line, it's going to be a dangerous run game. And now they have found it, Marlon Mack. So watch out for the Colts.
Yeah, they got T.Y. Hilton. And then Chester Rogers is good number 2. He's come up on the radar. Interesting games this week.
Let's talk about some of these
Golden
trades.
Tate to the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, baby. I was sitting there thinking when it happened, I was like, wow, that's a good trade. Then I sat down and I thought, the weapons they're going to have on the field all at once. Let me paint this picture for you. Alshon Jeffrey, Golden Tate, Zach Ertz, Darren Sproles when he comes back, Corey Clement. Then you got Dallas Goedert, the rookie tight end. They're going to have weapons all over the place. This is the piece they needed. I think it's a perfect fit.
Yeah, Golden Tate, he's a good wideout. Kind of struggled in Detroit a little this season. He ain't having the season he had last year. But what is Detroit thinking? So tell me, from their point of view, what are they thinking?
I guess they're thinking that Kenny Galladay is going to be their next star, and I believe he will be. He's a great receiver.
Is Tate a free agent after this year?
I think so, yeah.
So what's Philly going to do? Just keep him and try to get another Super Bowl?
Probably. That's what I would do, because the window in winning a Super Bowl in the NFL is very small. They have the team to do it right now. Who knows if they'll have that team 2-3 years down the road. So, yeah, go all in right now. But even if – I think he would re-sign with Philly. It's a good city to play in. He'll have Wentz throwing to him. Why wouldn't he re-sign?
I got you.
And all they gave up was a third-round pick. That's nothing.
So, did we discuss Demaryius Thomas going to the Texans?
We touched on it. Yeah, that was a interesting trade. I think New England was in the sweepstakes as well.
And then Amari Cooper went to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, and then Ty Montgomery went to Baltimore after he brought the ball out of the end zone when he should have took a knee. Let's talk about that a minute. What would have happened if Aaron Rodgers would have got the ball in that game against the Rams? You know what would have happened.
I'd like to see. I was pulling for him.
You know what would have happened. The Rams would have one loss.
Yeah, I was pulling for the Packers because, the Rams is in Seattle's division.
Mm-hmm.
I believe if Green Bay wins that game, Seattle has a shot at coming back and winning the division. Because they still got to play the Eagles, they got to play the Saints, they got to play the Seahawks again. And Seattle's on a roll right now, so.
It's sad. We could have seen greatness one more time, but
they weren't many big trades. Not many trades at all.
No, Clinton Dix went to Washington. Ooh, I forgot about that in deciding my picks. But I don't know if he'll be that big of a factor this week. But going forward, he might be. Sure enough. Pretty good safety. So, yeah, I think, another thing we should mention. I think now that the trade deadline is over, I would not be surprised if Le'Veon Bell reports next week. I think he'll be back.
Really?
Because I think that was one of his worries. If he come back, he would get traded right before the deadline. So now that that's passed, I could see him playing. So something to keep an eye on.
I don't know, man. If I was a Steelers organization, I wouldn't want him back. If I was a teammate, I'd be like, no, screw you. James Conner's got better stats than Bell did this time last year.
Mm-hmm. It's a tough situation. Probably the most interesting, complex situation in NFL history, maybe. It's crazy what he's done, and then Conner's stepped in and done the same thing. So really, what do you do if you're the Steelers?
It's the offensive line, man.
That is a great line.
I don't know. I'd be ticked off if I was the lineman, Antonio Brown, Ben Roethlisberger, anybody on that Pittsburgh Steelers organization. I would not want him back. You can't cut him because that's just stupid. You got to trade him and get something. At least get some draft picks out of him. But now it's too late. So now they would have to drop him if they want to.
I think he'll be back, and I think once he's back in the locker room, they'll embrace him, and I think him and Conner might have a little competition going, might split carries, who knows, but either way, that's a good 1-2 punch to have if you're Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just wonder how the backs would how they would interfere with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how would their mindsets be? Would they be like selfish, or would they want to share?
It's a tough situation, man. I think Connor would be all right with it, but Bell, who knows? He's an interesting cat.
Will John Gruden finish out his 10 years with the Raiders?
I believe so. Like I said, I think it was last week. I think he's getting all these draft picks and rebuilding for their trip to when they move to Las Vegas. So I think he knows what he's doing. Right now, it doesn't look like it, but he's getting ready for the future. So don't doubt him quite yet. Give him 3-4 years, see what happens.
Yeah, I think the goal next year will be 6-10. The year after that, 8-8. And the year after that, make the playoffs.
Could be.
That's what I think. It's what I told somebody. I forgot who I told, but I don't know. Who's going? As of right now, who you think's going to have the number 1 overall pick in the draft?
I'm going to have to say probably San Francisco, just because they have so many injuries.
You just imagine that, though. Because they're a good team.
Yeah.
They're going to get even better, though.
Yeah, they've had when they get healthy and then they have a number 1 pick, it'd be insane.
I bet they would go defense.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'd go get him a cornerback or something.
Yeah.
Because Sherman's going to have to he'll get cut after this year.
They might go lineman, too. Honestly, I think the NFL, the most important thing to have is offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
By far. If you don't have the offensive line, you're not winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I don't know. It's dangerous. You think about that. Garoppolo with the first-round pick and all that young talent on defense.
Yep.
I don't know. They kind of need a receiver. Some of the receivers getting old. Goodwin and Garcon.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It'll be interesting to see what happens this week. I can't wait. I'm most looking forward to this week of football than I think I am any of the other weeks, just because it's going to be Rodgers versus Brady. You don't get to see it much, so.
Every 4 years.
I wish this was a Super Bowl, but I've wanted this in a Super Bowl. Maybe we'll get it one of these days. Time's ticking for Brady, but
we're running out.
I don't think it'll be this year.
When do you think Brady will retire?
Don't think it'll be at the end of this year. I don't think it'll be the end of next year. I think it'll be the following year. So when he's 43, I think he retires.
That'd be amazing if that does happen. The oldest player in the NFL now is Adam Vinatieri.
Huh.
He broke the scoring record for any NFL player.
Did he?
Most points scored by any NFL player.
He beat, what was that kicker that used to kick for the Vikings?
Blair Walsh.
I know, I can't think of his name, but he had the record. He played forever.
Sebastian Janikowski is up there.
Oh, yeah? He's played forever, too. Well,
when's Travis King going to get his interview?
Travis King said he wanted to do it Saturday, but now that we've got his picks here, really there's not much to say unless he wants to explain himself and talk about Tom Brady and the GOAT Aaron Rodgers a little bit. But we'll see what happens. If he can get off the basketball court.
You know what he's going to say. He's going to say, Tom Brady's the GOAT, Aaron Rodgers not even close. Yeah. Matt Ryan's better than Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, broken record.
Said Matt Ryan should be MVP.
Even Tom Brady said Aaron Rodgers was the GOAT.
Yeah.
Suck on that, Trav.
Well, Tom Brady is the GOAT. He's got the rings. I think it's what it comes down to.
He's also in a better system.
Yeah.
Rodgers has zero help, besides one receiver named Devontae Adams.
He had Randall Cobb, Jordy Nelson.
He made those guys. You know it. He has his head coach is trash. His defense has always been trash. He's never had a running game consistently. Poor Aaron Rodgers. Maybe one of these days he'll get on a good franchise. Who knows?
He's too good for Green Bay.
He is.
He needs to be playing for somewhere like a bigger city, like Los Angeles or something, or Atlanta.
Mm.
Yeah, go to the Falcons, please. See what Travis King will do.
Oh, God. We'll leave you with that thought, folks.
Yeah, Travis, just think about that when you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers to the Falcons.
Aaron Rodgers wearing a Falcons helmet and a Panthers t-shirt.
Yeah. You gonna still pull for them Falcons, Travis?
You had to pick 2 new teams, boy.
Guess he'll be. I don't know. I don't even think he'd be a Braves fan if Aaron Rodgers went to Atlanta.
Oh, God.
Guys, this is Nick Bell, and I'm here with Brad Nolen tonight, and we're getting ready to sign off. Thank y'all for listening. Share this video. Let's get the viewers to keep going up. Brad, what you got to say?
I just got to say one thing. Good night, and God bless. Shots fired.